Exit polls are revealing how Donald Trump went from being the long shot to the president-elect of the United States of America. Aarti Pohl joins us now with a look. So, Aarti, let's start with the presidential campaign, the presidential vote yesterday. And what are those exit polls telling us?
Well, certainly when it comes to voter turnout, it appears early estimates show that it is down slightly. About 55% of Americans turned out to vote. And so that is some of the early numbers. Now, also these exit polls I'm showing you, I just want to give you a little bit of background here. It is based on, it's called the National Election Pool, and that's 6 media organizations. They surveyed about 25,000 voters at about 350 different polling places. So let's get to the numbers. First, the gender divide. How did people vote based on whether they're male or female? Well, this kind of shows you, yes, there were more voters for Hillary Clinton that were female and more for Donald Trump that were male, but not a significant divide. Let's move over now to another contentious election issue, race in this election. Well, take a look at that breakdown there. For Donald Trump, his voters, 58% of those who voted for him identified as white. Black voters, 88% of them who voted for Hillary Clinton identified with the African-American community. The Latino vote also, 65% Hillary Clinton. Look at that, 29% for Donald Trump. We know that certainly some of the rhetoric that was issued during this campaign from the Republican nominee would have dissuaded the Latino community from voting for Donald Trump. Some more numbers to share with you. We've also got the best description of vote. So what this is we know that this race was very polarizing. Some people anti-Trump, anti-Clinton, and that's how they base their vote. So ask the question if they dislike the other candidate, and that's what drove them to make their decision. 51% of Republicans say they were really filing more of an anti-Clinton vote versus the 39% of Democratic voters making it anti-Trump. That can kind of explain why we saw some of those blue states flip to red states as well. And then finally, just one more number to show you here. Building a wall along the entire U.S. border with Mexico. Well, look at those numbers there. Republican voters, 86% support building a wall, and 76% of Democrat voters oppose it. So that's a very black and white issue. But, you know, Andrew, interesting to see how it all breaks down.
Certainly is.